Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Sharon Rosa. Every Friday I'm going to be posting videos with some advice or tips and tricks about buying or selling your house. Last week I talked about choosing a real estate agent and making sure you're working with somebody that you feel comfortable working with. This week I want to talk about buyers. And probably the biggest issue that I have with buyers is, when they come to me in our beginning conversations, they talk about, is this the right time for me? And because it's such a big decision, a lot of people wait for the perfect time. Well, come on, let's face it. I don't think there is a perfect time to do almost anything in life. As I've gone through my life, I think about perfect time to buy my house, perfect time to, is this the perfect time to have my children? Is this the perfect time to make a job change? Whatever it happens to be. And in reality, there are no perfect times for anything. There can be better times. And so I want to talk about, is now a better time to buy a house? So a couple of things that you should consider as a buyer when you are looking to buy a home. And we'll talk about different steps of it, the mortgage step and how much money you have saved and what you look for in a house. We'll talk about that down the road. But what I want to address right now is winter a good time to buy a house? And right now in Western Pennsylvania, it is. So there are probably 6 or 7 different things to think about when you are looking to make your purchase. The first two are more pertinent probably right now because of how the market has been for the past year and a half or so. It's really been a seller's market, and that has created some difficulties for the buyers that I've had over the past couple of years in 2 ways. One, we look at a house, we love it, and there are 35 offers on the same house. Extremely frustrating for anyone trying to buy a house. The second thing is feeling like you have to decide right now. You go through a home, you know that it's booked, end to end every day for 3 days, knowing that they're calling for highest and best, and you've seen it once and it's a huge decision and you feel pressed to make that decision. Those 2 things alone can be extremely stressful. And understandably why, right? Because it's a huge decision, and in the past, 5, 6 years ago, I could take buyers through and we could go through again so they could make sure it was the home for them. Those 2 things are probably not going to bother buyers in the Pittsburgh market right now and probably until beginning mid-February. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but it's less likely. The market has slowed here. It's slowed nationally. During the holidays, it always does, but right now it is kind of slowed. I think everyone's kind of in a wait and see mode. So those 2 things right off the bat might encourage you to get out there and go and look. The other thing is the sellers, even though it's still a little bit of a seller's market, the houses on the market have slowed down and the days on market have gone up. So people that have listed their house, especially if they've left it on the market through this time period, through November and December and leave it on in January, are probably looking to sell that house. They don't want to have to winterize it if they haven't winterized it yet. If it's been on the market for 60 days or longer and they're leaving it on, they might look at more offers and might not even have to be over list, and they might accept that. So that's something to consider as well. Mortgages, a couple of things with the mortgages. First of all, the mortgage rates are still pretty good. They are predicting that they will rise in 2022, not necessarily jump, but slowly creep up all year long, up until the indicators right now are at about 4% by the end of 2022. So if you are going to buy, and you definitely know you want to do that in the next 3, 6, 9 months, you're probably going to get a better interest rate now than you will in a couple of months. In addition to that, the mortgage companies, over the past year, when we go to close, sometimes the mortgage companies have held us up because they are processing so many loans that they are behind. You probably are not going to have that problem right now. The other thing is movers. You're probably not going to have as many people moving right now, so it's easier to book a mover. This summer, it was nearly impossible to book a mover unless you had done it as soon as you signed that contract. So that would be a little easier right now. Now, no, moving in the snow would never be ideal for anybody, but if you're planning to do it and you want to save some money in a mortgage rate or on the purchase price of your home, it might be worth it. And finally, excuse me, in Western Pennsylvania, because of our weather, you're really going to see a home at its worst, if you will, right now. You're not going to have all the beautiful landscaping that you would have in the spring and the summer and even in the fall. The trees are going to be bare. You're going to see the house. You're going to see what it looks like without all of those extras. And in addition to that, during harsh weather, you're going to see how it holds up. So those are just a few reasons that you might want to consider. If you were thinking of it anyhow in 2022, now might be the time to buy. So if you're planning to do that, you can email me. I'd be happy to talk to you about it. Again, if you like the videos and want to subscribe, push the button in the bottom corner. Otherwise, I will see you next Friday. Have a great rest of your week. Enjoy the holidays, and I will see you next Friday. Thanks.